Now, ladies and gentlemen, throughout 2022 for Counter-Strike Global Offensive, there's of course been a lot of ups and downs. One of the main great things we've had is of course the concurrent and consistent player base at around 1 million this past month. And well, why that's so good and why it's better than really any other time we've had in CS? Some people might compare this to the 1.3 we saw in 2020 due to the pandemic. I consider that and those numbers specifically to be a little inflated because everyone was pushed inside. CSGO is a free-to-play game and those people really weren't going to stick for the long term. But the people we have right now are here dedicated players that want to stick out for the next upcoming update. And of course, that being Source 2 and an operation. And that's kind of the downside of things is the lack of content we've had this year. People are wondering, where is Source 2? Where is an operation? All we've had is monetary items. You look at the 10th anniversary, one of the biggest disappointments in CSGO history, in my personal opinion. And that's exactly what we're going to touch on today is the downside of 2022. And that is, where is Source 2? What is the delay? And that's what we'll be discussing in today's video. Everything we know, and of course, we just got some more information from our friend Gabe Follower over there on Twitter. Now, if you guys want to go check him out, he pretty much tweets daily CSGO content. He also has a YouTube channel. I suggest you go watch. You'll most likely be able to find a lot of this information before I even make a video on it, and get maybe a better understanding before you watch my video. Or maybe one of his, for an example. Now, before we hop into the commentary, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit the like button and, of course, subscribe. And here's a quick word from our video sponsor, Skinport. Now, today's video sponsor is, of course, Skinport. Skinport is currently the biggest, most secure buying and selling marketplace for Counter-Strike Global Offensive skins in North America and Europe. It's currently trusted by 10,000 people and some more who gave it a 4.9 to a 5-star rating on a place like Trustpilot. Buying skins is very easy and is great with discounts up to 30% and, of course, over 420,000 options to choose from. In those instances where you want to buy something, for an example, you're going to run into examples of something like this. The Bayonet Doppler currently listed on the Steam market for $507. Skinport is offering for $382 USD, of course. That's a 29% off discount compared to what it has on the Steam market. Checking out whether you're buying or selling skins is easy, fast, and secure. With selling, of course, it goes to your bank directly via bank transfer with no hidden fees whatsoever, which is very, very nice. If you guys are interested in selling some of your skins or picking up some new flashy ones, make sure to check them out in the top of the link in the description below. So Gabe Follower just a couple days ago, I'm a little late to the party on this one, but of course he has been tweeting out what the devs are doing inside of CSGO. He's literally made videos spying on the devs in CSGO. He's been able to see what they're up to, and specifically recently they have been playtesting Source 2 on a specific map, that being Cobblestone, which is really, really cool. Now, I'm not sure what they're doing with said map, but for all I know, they're working on things as we speak. And the way Gabe Follower was able to look at these things was through a beta dev branch, I guess. I don't have a whole lot of ideas what I'm looking at here, but apparently that was deleted or set to private, so he can no longer, and we can no longer look at this as a public community. So before Valve releases an update, like we could previously, for an example, we were able to see what Valve was working on or gonna update, for an example, or if they were gonna update that night. Now we have no idea. So for an example, if they're gonna drop a new case next week, and usually we know within the same day if it's gonna happen. Gabe Follower's been pretty spot on with the past couple of cases, and he usually knows a day or two ahead of time, maybe even the same day. And now we really have no idea if that's the case, which is kind of disappointing in my personal opinion. Now, what are the main reasons for Valve to delay Source 2 and of course an operation? Let's firstly talk about Source 2 and what we know so far about it, and what's apparently and supposedly going to change when that update comes, and maybe why it's taking a little bit of extra time. So what we know right now is we got a tweet and a bunch of things a couple months ago, and really a few months ago now at this point in 2022, where most likely CSGO is going to rebrand to Counter-Strike. This has been pretty well known this past year or so with Valve changing Twitter headers. This is also a whole other thing where Valve has put in their header specifically. It's just a header, nothing more. But people are, of course, trying to figure out different things around that. Gabe Follower seems to have a better marketing campaign and better marketing team himself than the entirety of Valve themselves for CSGO, which is kind of interesting. If you guys want to check this out, link down in the description below takes you to his Twitter. So with that being said, they want to make it more brand friendly. They want to rename the T's just to T's and CTs, so it's not terrorists in the name, so it's a little less controversial, so they can get more sponsors for the game and can get pushed out to the public just a little bit more. And of course, for obvious reasons, in my personal opinion, I think they're polishing this until there's really nothing left to polish, which obviously is going to be impossible, but they're really not wanting to really change much. And that's what I think they're scared of. And this is the reason they haven't released Source 2 this past few years. Now, in my personal opinion, if skins never really existed inside of Counter-Strike, I think this would be the first out of 3 games we would have seen the past 4 or 5 years. Valve loves money, Gabe loves money, money. And skins so happen to be very successful this past decade for them, which is just kind of crazy. No other game has really been able to replicate it at this scale anyway, and have this much of a well-known name brand of a game that has these skins, for an example. Another huge reason why Source 2 was delayed so long, and it has been delayed up until now anyway that we know of, is Valve apparently had a very hard time porting the maps from Source 1, so the current build of CS, and the workshop assets, how you make Source 2 maps, for an example, and how everything gets ported over. So if you have an AIM map on Source 1, how are they going to port that over to Source 2? It's a lot more complicated than you or I think. And same thing with skins. Are they going to look a little different? Is that going to change the price of any of them? Is this going to crash the market in any sort of way? So on and so forward. So I think they're trying to find ways to perfect it. But also I think there's some other reasons as well. The same reason I don't think we're getting an operation is because the player count is so high. And I've talked about this in the past, how it would make the most financial sense for Valve to release this. But they do have economic majors working at Valve themselves to pretty much perfect the CSGO economy. And well, what I mean by that is one of my biggest fears in CSGO this past year is Valve pushing out and releasing too many monetary items and pushing out too many cases and skins, and that essentially will devalue the older skins in the game. And we're somewhat already seeing that with some specific items. Not everything, but to give an example, if you don't really understand, if Valve were to push out a case every single month for an entire year, that equal 12 cases, and that will bring a whole bunch of new skins on top of a major collection with the operation, obviously, sticker capsules, and that's just a lot of content, which is great in the short term of things. But in my personal opinion, a short of a span as 2 or 3 years, you would see a huge decline in older skin prices, because what's the point of going back and buying older skins when you have something that looks maybe a little better or a little similar to the older one, and it's literally a quarter of the price. And I think what Valve wants to do here is wait until the player count's really, really low and then release an operation. So I'm not saying stop playing the game, but I think, you know, in 2 or 3 months when the player count falls off another 200,000 or 300,000, that's when I think they would release the operation. That would make the most sense for them anyway, because they're trying to do the minimal amount of work to keep us still engaged. And what that's going to do, they're going to have minimal work. They're still going to get a lot of money in return. They release an operation, all those players who left come back, they play the game, the player count is booming again. When the same thing happens again, they'll just re-release an operation, maybe throw in Source 2 there in the next year or so. But I think Source 2 is a little different. I think Source 2 right now, they're perfecting it. There's not any bugs. It doesn't crash the market because certain individual skins look better than others. And I think they might want to do a special operation or something with the release of Source 2. I don't think that'd be the worst idea in the world. It's no hidden secret that I think it's almost done, which is kind of crazy, since the rumors really started back in 2017. So that's given them a long time to perfect a game that's already essentially done. All they have to really do is retexture it, remodel it, but of course there's a lot more to it than that. Now let me know what you guys think of that and my theory down below. Essentially, I think an operation is going to come when the player count drops a little bit more to keep us still engaged when that does come. We'll bring back the older players. Valve will do minimal work to get the maximum return. Let me know if you guys agree or of course disagree. Love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions down below. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.